welcome back. So what we're going to work on today is I need to mount my ECU in a different spot. I used to have it on the floor, kind of where you push your feet if you're the passenger riding in the car. I didn't used to carry passengers in the car, so it was fine there, but I do want to be able to take passengers out. I've had lots of people asking, so I figure I might as well, if I'm putting this back together, I might as well put it back together so I can take passengers. So I'm going to try to move the ECU up onto the roll cage crossbar under the dash. To do that, I got some clamps to clamp to the bar, and then I'm going to put a carbon fiber plate across there. The problem is the clamps I ordered, I got them off Amazon because Amazon racing, I'm on a budget. These are heavy, they're aluminum, but they're super beefy. I didn't realize they're for the off-road industry. They're to mount like, I don't know, those big goofy LED light bars or something like that. So I need to make this lighter. So we're gonna put speed holes in it everywhere we can to try to get it lighter. I'll put a picture right now. Of how heavy that is. So you see the weight, we're gonna take a whole bunch of holes out of this and see if we can take some weight off of it, and then we'll see what we're left with. If it's still too heavy, I'll probably spend the money and just get the Joe's. I think it's Joe's. They make clamps for roll bars and stuff that have got threaded inserts in them. They're super light. I have a couple of them already. I just didn't want to spend 40 bucks per clamp. For 4 of these, it was 20 bucks. So if I can make this work, I'm gonna try to make this work. All right, so there we have it. We took a bunch of material off these brackets. I actually did 2 different styles. This one here is about 3/4 of an ounce lighter than the other one. In total, so originally these were 6.8 ounces. This one now is 5 ounces. So took almost 2 ounces of weight out of this. These are junky material. The aluminum is really soft and it's full of voids. So it's got lots of porosity in it, so contamination in it. But with all these holes, for what I'm holding up like an 8x6 carbon fiber sheet with the ECU on it. The wideband O2 is on it, and then a couple CAN bus things. So I've got a CAN hub, 4-port CAN hub going on it, and a 6 connector AEM CAN translator, I guess it is. You basically take your sensor wires and wire them into it like fuel and stuff, and then it goes onto your AEM dash. So not a lot of weight, maybe all of those together, maybe 5 pounds. So not a big deal. So let's get the other one. I'll get the other one of these made off camera. So I have 2 like this, and then we'll pull the carbon sheet out and we will see how it looks, and yeah, look at getting the ECU and all that stuff mounted to it in a neat and tidy way. Okay, here's what I'm kind of going for to mount the ECU, and here's my wideband. It's a AEM X series wideband. This is the 6-channel sensor module for the dash. This is where I'm going to have, I'll have transmission temperature run into here, oil pressure, oil temperature, fuel level, and I'll have 1 spare pressure port in here that I can run at a later date. And then we have the AEM CAN hub. So this is just a splitter for the CAN signal basically. So the wideband has got a CAN output that will go to there. This will go to there, and then one of these will go from here to the dash, and I'll put a terminating resistor in this last one here. It's just the way the CAN networks work. But sheet of carbon fiber, it's fairly thick, it's 1 mil. I didn't realize 1 mil was gonna be quite that thick. I wasn't thinking when I ordered it, but it's light, it looks good. It'll be a good mounting base for this. And yeah, so we'll work on getting these mounted. I'm gonna also trim off a whole bunch of this wiring because this wiring here goes into here. So that close, I don't need 5 feet of wiring. So I'll probably trim it back to around here somewhere, and then I'll wire that all in. So yeah, we'll get going. We'll probably mount this in here next, and then go from there. Okay, so I got the brackets for that carbon fiber ECU mount mounted to my cage. So we got that, I measured it, and we marked it up on here. So we're gonna drill this out now, and then we'll mount this to those brackets, and then we'll know our spacing, amount of real estate we have to work with. I don't have any recessed bolts. I'm just gonna use these things here, which will be fine. And yeah, let's get this drilled. Okay, here we go. Got the plate mounted now, so the ECU and everything is going to be down on this side. So you'll basically look up from the passenger footwell and you'll see this up behind the dash. I think it'll work fairly well. Yet to be seen if there's going to be any issues. So far it looks good, so we'll keep going with this direction and see where we end up. Okay, so we got that O2 sensor, wideband O2 wiring shortened down, took about 4 feet off. I left the CAN, so this twisted wire here, that's the CAN signal. So that's, well, AEM calls it AEM net, but it's a CAN signal, it's a high-low CAN there. I don't know what the blue one is, I can't remember, I'm just leaving that one long for now. And then here I've got my serial connection for the ECU. So this wires into the ECU, so the ECU sees the wideband signal, and the red and the black are the power that'll wire into the ECU power as well. So yeah, that's shortened up now quite a bit. I can adjust it from here as well if I need, make it shorter if I want. But for now, until I get everything mounted on that plate, that's where I'm going to leave it, and then we'll look at starting to wire that after this. All right, a couple hours later, it is now dark outside. It's about 6 hours later when I decided to spend some time with the family. This is where we got to with that plate. So we took it off the car, and I started making a bracket to hold the ECU. So in the old mount that I had for this, the ECU is just zip tied. I had holes in the aluminum plate, and I had zip ties going around it. I didn't really like that that setup. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Velcro. I'll put Velcro strips down here and on the back of the ECU. And then I'll put some foam tape around here, and this will clamp down on the ECU. So I just bent this up with some flat stock that I had. Bent it up to the contours of the ECU as best I could. And yeah, so that picks up on that hole there. This one here, I'm just gonna drill that hole. I'm gonna put a nut cert in there so it makes it nice and easy. Okay, hole for the nut cert is drilled. Oop. Okay, we got our nut cert in there now. So this will make installation a little bit easier. I won't have to juggle with a bolt on the back if I'm trying to get the ECU out for some reason. So, or sorry, not a bolt, a nut on the back. So this will just make it nice and easy to swap it out. So yeah, one on this side through into the mounting bracket there, which has also got a nut cert in it as well. And then that one there. Okay, I was going to use Velcro, but I actually found some of this rubber. It's a 3M tape. That's the part number that was on the back of the 3M stuff, but it's a rubber, silicone rubber, I guess. Sticky on one side and super grippy on the other. So I think I'm going to use this. Nice part with this is it'll provide some vibration dampening and gripping as well. So I also put it on the inside of this. So when this goes on and is bolted down, it's going to pinch that in there and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, next day, and I've got pretty much everything on here that I need to get on. So I got the AEM 6-channel CAN sensor module, the CAN hub. This basically is a splitter for CAN signals. The widebands on here, I end up just doing Velcro for it. It should be good enough to hold it on there. And then for the ECU, I've only got this strap holding it on. I have this heavy duty rubber. I can't remember if I showed it earlier, but I found the part number for it. It's a McMaster car item, and yeah, it seems to work pretty good. This is clamping down enough that this ECU is not going to move anywhere, so it should work pretty well. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get it in the car. I'll pull it back out again to do all the wiring, so I need to do some Deutsch connectors on here, Deutsch connectors there, and a bunch of them here as well. So for now, we'll just get it back in the car to see how it looks, and then look at getting the wiring run here. Okay, if you made it this far into the video, I'll give you a little sneak peek of what is going on with the dash. Still haven't flocked it yet, but we're doing all this CAN work, so I thought I'd show you why we're doing all this CAN work. So this here is a AEM CL5 or CD5, I can't remember which one it is, but it's their carbon 5-inch one. The reason why I went with this one primarily is because Classic Dashes makes a mount for it in the EK. It bolts directly into the factory location. So yeah, that's why I went with this unit. Super clean. Once I get the dash flocked and everything else done, this is going to look really, really good. So there you go, a little teaser. Okay, the reason why we fit the dash is because I wanted to hook up the cable to it and make sure that the AEM net cable reaches. That's this one here, and it will plug directly into there, just like that. So a little bit of wire management to do, but that's going to be how it connects. So that'll be power and CAN signal for the dash all through that unit there. So nice and clean and neat. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I realized as I was editing this that I didn't do an outro. We're not going to get into the wiring of any of that CAN stuff right now. I had to order a couple more fittings, or sorry, a couple more connectors to make this work. So they're about 5 to 7 days away. So that's going to do it for this one. We got the ECU mounted, got the wideband mounted, got all the CAN networks all kind of in one place. We know the AEM dash wiring will fit or reach, and it looks nice and clean. So we're finally going to get on to the dash flocking in this next few days. I'm going to make the templates for the carbon fiber plug-offs. Unfortunately, the main opening in the center of the dash, the carbon fiber that I got, is too thick. It's not going to be able to bend or contour to that radius. There's a decent curve to it. So I'm looking for options for that right now, but that's not going to stop us. We can still get everything else done with the dash, get it flocked, everything else. I do have a template of that opening, so I don't need to worry about doing it on the dash. So yeah, anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you liked this one. Give it a thumbs up if you did. I'd appreciate it. See you next time. Bye-bye.